Oh man, I've been so excited to film these vlogs. Hello everyone, my name is Taylor, my middle name is Lynn, and I'm the owner of Mint by Lynn, which is a clothing accessory shop on Etsy, so definitely come check me out. But we didn't go to work today. Okay, so this is a vlog about my girlfriend and I's 5th year anniversary trip to Japan. We had decided on backpacking it, so the two of us, we each brought a single large travel backpack. And then I brought like a little tiny foldable backpack that I can use through the day-to-day of traveling, just leave the big stuff in the Airbnb. And we did end up having enough space for everything we bought on the way home. So day 1 and 2 are just all travel. And it is such a long flight for these long legs, let me tell you. I am so glad that I was able to get an aisle seat so that I could get up and walk around at any time that I wanted to, but also the plane food is kind of whack. But I will say you don't really need to buy snacks unless you really want to, because they do feed you every few hours. I think I got myself like a chocolate milk like before the flight, and that was about it. So after all the travel chaos, we finally arrived at the airport and got through customs around 4:30 p.m. The first thing we did is went to an ATM, took out some money, got our Suica cards, and then made our way to Tokyo. So that was our first time on the train and first time doing a transfer. Super easy. But also we learned that nobody talks on the train, ever. It was very different from being on the Broad Street line in Philadelphia, I will say that. Since we were just on I think it's like a 13-hour long flight, so we decided to walk to our Airbnb, and it was like a 40-minute walk from Tokyo Station to our first Airbnb, which was a little outside of Akihabara. And I will say it felt like a really long walk because it was our first time experiencing the the Japanese summer humidity. The humidity was rough, like right from the jump, man. It was they are not joking when they talk about it. As we started walking, we ended up finding some of our first convenience stores on the way there. So I think we stopped at 7-Eleven first, and that was our first snack, our first Japanese snack ever. So we got some melon pan, we got a little rice patty ball. Question, it's not an onigiri, but I guess it is. Just a different shaped onigiri. But then we finally made it to our tiny Airbnb. It was cute in there. It had everything that we needed. We got in, it was fine. We took a shower and we tried our best to go to bed. Remember, the hours from Japan to the US are like flip-flopped, right? So I took the method where I just decided that the entire plane ride was just like a vortex of time and it didn't exist. Julie kept looking at her watch being like, oh, but it's like 8 a.m. back home. How am I supposed to sleep at 9 p.m. here? Or something like that. And I was like, no, that's where you went wrong. For our first full day in Tokyo, what we were going to do is we were going to spend our whole day at like Akihabara and Ikebukero. So it turns out nothing is actually open in Tokyo until like 10 or 11 a.m. But we were like up. We were awake at like, I don't know, we were out of the house by like 8. So we were like, okay, well, we got to find some stuff to do. So I found this bakery that wasn't too far. It was maybe like a 15-20 minute walk. It was really cute inside, honestly. There wasn't anywhere to sit inside, so we ended up going to, I think, a 7-Eleven because they had some seating up in the front. So I think I bought a milk tea and Julie bought a coffee. They were pretty good. The one kind of tasted like marshmallow. It was like a kind of chocolate marshmallow. And then the other one was kind of like a berry sweet cake. I don't know, it was really cute. It actually tasted pretty good. I liked both of them. On our way back to Akihabara, we had to stop and put on some sunscreen because the sun it was really hot the week that we went. Unfortunately, it was in the 90s the entire time, so we had to kind of make sure we were taking care of ourselves. We actually This was our trick, okay? So we did have like one water bottle that we would bring with us, and Julie would keep that kind of in her little backpack. And then what we would do was we would go to the convenience store and buy a big jug of their 100 yen water. And then we would just keep refilling our water bottle throughout the day. And I would just carry the big jug in my backpack. And we did that the entire time, and it was fantastic so that we would always have water, because again, it was just so hot and humid that we were just dying the entire time. So along our way back to Akihabara, we also saw our first shrine. So what we did when we got to the shrine is we actually were just kind of like watching the locals see what they were doing, and we tried our best to imitate what they were doing, just to make sure we were being respectful and doing all the things. I will say, at every area where you pray, I didn't take any video out of respect, as well as the fact that they don't want anybody filming that, and that's totally fair. We also saw our first capsule area, and we were like, oh, look at all these cute things. I don't know, guys, we ended up spending way too much on capsules this trip, but it's fine. I think it's fine. Now stores are finally open, and we entered our first store, which ended up being one of our favorite stores to visit the entire trip, which was Biku 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 Kamara. I love their little jingles, I'm gonna be honest. They stay in my head and they live rent-free. Yeah, we honestly liked this place more than Don Quixote for some reason. We just did, I don't know. Ended up buying a phone strap here because I was constantly taking my phone out to take videos. Later, I would realize that it would ruin like all of my sound quality for the entirety of the trip, which was great. I loved to hear crunchiness on every single one of my Japan videos. It was fantastic. After that, we ended up just exploring all the stores in Akihabara. Everything was super fun and super cute. There was this mob figure that was like the cutest figure I'd ever seen for some reason, and they were sold out everywhere in Japan. Fun fact, but yeah, no, they were all cute. I had a great time. After shopping for a lot of hours, Julie and I were so hungry, and one of the things that we wanted to do in Akihabara was a maid cafe experience. And guys, don't pass this up. I will say, out of enjoyable experiences in Japan, this was actually one of my favorite. So we ended up at an at-home cafe, which is one of the chains that they have there in Japan. I honestly really liked the food here, and also, I think what added to the wholesome experience is that we got a maid who was her first time serving and drawing the picture, and she was just so cute, and the whole thing was just like, you can do it, like we're cheering you on. Like, it just kind of made the whole experience even better. When we finished Akihabara, I think we pretty much ended on the maid cafe. We took our train to Ikebukero because we wanted to get all of our like nerd stuff out of the way in the first day. Julie and I's restaurant experience. Okay, so it was our first time getting dinner at one of the places in Ikebukuro, and it was one of the machines where you kind of just have to like put in what you want. You get a ticket and then you give it to the people who make the food, right? But we can't read, and I didn't in this particular place see anything for English. So Julie and I were trying to translate, but then people came in behind us and then we got scared. And then Julie just kind of like typed something and printed it out and was like, oh, well, I don't know what we got, but we got it. So we ended up getting 2 of the same dishes, but luckily for me and my picky eatingness, one of the things that she ended up clicking on was like the food kind of spread out into different things. And I was like, oh, yes. And hers had everything piled on top in like a full bowl, but mine was all separate. I was like, oh man, that was so lucky. It ended up being pretty good, but honestly, the 2 of us could have shared one because like it was so much food. After eating, we took the train back to Akihabara and just looked at our haul, spent way too much on capsule toys here, and then we went to bed. So our second full day in Tokyo, we ended up having to kind of watch our time because I had made a few reservations for that day. So the first thing we did, because nothing is open until, again, 10 or 11, we started our day at 7-Eleven, which was nearby. I wanted to try the fried chicken, and guys, the 7-Eleven fried chicken is kind of greasy. I don't know. I was really excited to try the fried chicken from each and every place. But I was like, I don't know about this one. And then I got a drink that was evil because it ended up being like a fully vegetable drink. And I thought it was just like a fruit juice. And I was like, oh, that was on me. Also, guys, don't take any of my food reviews seriously. What I think about food just simply doesn't count because I'm a picky eater. Just putting that out there. So our first stop was in Shibuya, so we took a train there, and guys, again, the train stations here are so easy. We got off the train at Shibuya and we were like, oh my god, there are birds here. The first day that we were in Tokyo, we were like, there are no birds. Nobody is talking. There's like no background noise, and I feel like I can't talk. And we finally saw some birds. We were so excited. We were like, why are the birds so rare? Why are there no birds in this city? The main thing we wanted to do in Shibuya was visit Hachiko, which is a statue dedicated to the dog who waited for his owner for 9 years, even though the owner died. Oh, such a good story, you guys, check it out. And then we went to go walk to our reservation. I will say, as someone who has been around cities a little bit for my last few years, Julie and I were literally in Shibuya Crossing, and we didn't even realize that that's what it was because it was just literally crosswalks. Again, I think it's more magical at night, and we were there like early in the morning, so maybe that's the difference. So we got to our first reservation, and we went to Haute Couture Cafe. But we went to the one that was outside of Omotesando Station, and this place ended up being double the price of what I thought it was, but this place was beautiful, guys. I was like, oh, like, if you guys are like big Instagrammers, like, this place was so pretty. And it was such a cute experience too, because I got to see a bunch of different types of people here. It's actually like an older friend group who were coming all in their Harajuku wear, and they were like taking pictures with all the stuff, and I was like, oh my gosh, so cool. And they had just changed their entire cafe to be like their rose season, so the whole place was covered in flowers, and their current menu was all strawberry based, which was perfect for Julie because that's like her favorite thing. So both of our favorites ended up being the macaroons that was there, and they were so good. I wish we had savored it a little bit more on that one. Like, this food, I will say, it was a bit fancy for my bland palate, I will say. I think the experience was great. All the servers were great. The food was presented so pretty. Like, everything was really nice. I will say it was just a lot of sweet. Like, a lot of sweet, I will say. So next on the itinerary was a walk to Shinjuku, but on the way we stopped at Harajuku. Here we explored just a few stops and we got our first taste of Takeshita Street, which is like the really busy, cool street that they have there. At the end of our trip, we're going to end up coming back to visit Harajuku just to spend a little bit more time here. But for now, we were just kind of passing through on our way to Shinjuku. On the way, there was also one other shrine that I wanted to take a stop in. This shrine was so chaotic for me. So remember how I said there were no birds here? Tell me how I got pooped on by a bird in a shrine. Okay? Julie was like... Julie was like, whoa, that is like crazy luck. Of course, I couldn't really see it that way because I'm like, oh my god, my shirt is like stained. I got pooped on by the single bird that's in Japan. Like, what's up with that? But no, it ended up being like a really cute little area that's kind of, it feels tucked away from the rest of the craziness. You definitely are just kind of surrounded by trees on your way in. In the moment, I didn't even think about taking a video, but I have a picture of the bird, the nasty little bird, but but that's okay, it's okay. I got over it so quick, guys, it was fine. You know what, it's so funny, upon exiting the shrine, I think Julie and I just straight up died. The fact that I have so little video content for the rest of the evening is so funny to me, but I can remember a lot of it. Okay, so I think the jet lag was finally catching up to us at this point, and keep in mind throughout this trip we're walking about 40,000 steps a day, which was honestly insane. It was so funny. Okay, it wasn't funny in the moment, but there is not a single place to sit anywhere in the city. Anywhere that could be a place to sit, they would have spikes and signs that say, do not sit here, do not rest here. And I'm like, oh my god. We've been walking like all day and I was just like, oh my goodness. We found what would be kind of like our like home base. It ended up being a Tower Records on the 10th floor of the Flags building because it was kind of out of the way and their bathroom was not full by any means. So the only place I was able to just like sit for a moment was in the bathroom on the toilet. Cool, I just needed to sit for just a minute. What I ended up learning, we started like taking the stairs down from the 10th floor just because there were a few other stores we wanted to visit. That's where the people sit, okay? We found some locals sitting in stairwells, like up on the tops of buildings where people aren't around. Where else are you gonna sit? We finally arrived at a reservation for the evening. Their air conditioning broke, so then we were sitting in the heat the whole time. They gave us these fans that were gonna prove to be great for the rest of the trip, okay? We went to a Wagyu restaurant, and we had seen a lot of people on YouTube go here, and every single person who ate here had like a life-changing experience. But we got it, and we were eating it, and I was like, Julie, can I say something controversial? I was like, Julie, the Wagyu's not good. So, okay. I don't know if it was the cuts we were getting or the way we were cooking it or what, but it was so greasy. I know that that's what Wagyu is, right? Like, Wagyu is very fatty. That's what it is. Maybe the lesson here is to go to the fancy guy, the fancy chefs, okay? And get like just the one just the one slab of Wagyu that's cooked to perfection. Maybe that's where we went wrong, because I think that with this type of meat, I don't think you can eat a ton of it in one sitting. We ended our trip to Shinjuku without seeing Godzilla because we forgot, but we'll visit him again later. It's okay. Comment down below if you guys resonate with any of our Tokyo experiences so far. I had a fantastic time, and Julie had a great time, and that's all that really matters, right? Up next, we're traveling to Kyoto, Osaka, and Hakone, where I sweat more than I have in my entire life. So remember to like, comment, subscribe, all those things so that we can hang out again soon, yeah? Okay, bye!